So another weekend of football has passed, a weekend that saw Manchester City extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 5 points following their 3-0 victory over Burnley, with nearest rivals Manchester United falling a humiliating 2-1 defeat to Huddersfield Town. So let's take a look at some of the most interesting stats, facts and figures from the weekend of football from across Europe. We'll start in the Premier League and with leaders Manchester City, who look simply unstoppable right now, running rings around their Premier League opponents, as well as making light work of their Champions League group, winning all 3 of their opening games. While there are multiple players at the Etihad who are in form, the standout superstar is Kevin De Bruyne, who started the season in sublime form, with his creativity making life easy for the City forwards. With 6 assists so far this season, the joint highest alongside teammate David Silva, no one has been more creative since Kevin De Bruyne moved to Man City 2 years ago. Since the Belgian's debut in September 2015, De Bruyne has provided 33 assists in the Premier League, more than any other player. Sergio Agüero made history by scoring in Man City's victory over Burnley, scoring his first goal from the spot since his Amsterdam car crash. But now the Argentinian is back from injury, he's back to scoring goals, and his penalty made him Manchester City's joint all-time leading goal scorer, equalling Eric Brook's record of 177 goals for the club, a record that has stood for 78 years. He may have found the net 177 times for Man City, but Agüero will never score a more iconic goal than the title winner against Queen's Park Rangers back in 2012. Staying in Manchester, and Marcus Rashford scored his 13th Premier League goal on Saturday, a consolation in the Red Devils' defeat to David Wagner's Huddersfield side. But while the goal meant nothing for Manchester United, it could be important for Rashford as he looks to equal Wayne Rooney's record for Premier League goals as a teenager. The now Everton striker scored 15 Premier League goals before turning 20, so Rashford is just 2 behind his former teammate. However, the 19-year-old has one chance to equal the record this Saturday against informed Tottenham, as he prepares to celebrate his 20th birthday the following Tuesday. Will Rashford equal Rooney's record? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Our third and final nugget from Manchester sees us turn to Romelu Lukaku, who couldn't find the net at the John Smith Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Lukaku has been criticised for his inability to score against the Premier League's elite clubs, but he also seems to have a problem scoring against the division's newest sides, failing to score in 18 of his last 25 games against newly promoted sides. So really there's a pool of about 11 teams that Lukaku can actually score against. Speaking of the 3 promoted teams, Christ these links are seamless. Brighton, Huddersfield and Newcastle all tasted victory this weekend, beating West Ham, Man United and Crystal Palace respectively, as all 3 continue to impress in the top flight. Collectively, the promoted trio have won 37 points, which is the biggest points tally in over a decade, with Wigan, West Ham and Sunderland recording 39 points in 2005. Will the 3 promoted teams survive in the Premier League? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and click the link in the top right corner of the screen to see how promoted teams have performed throughout the history of the Premier League. Swansea were beaten 2-1 by managerless Leicester City on Saturday, with Federico Fernandes putting through his own net after 24 minutes. While supporters of the Welsh club are far too familiar with their players putting through their own net, with Fernandes' strike the 11th time since the start of the 2015-16 season that the Swans have scored an own goal, which is more than twice as many as any other side. In fact, no one has scored more own goals than Federico Fernandes during this time period, who has put through his own net 3 times, equalled by Burnley's Jack Cork, who also has 3, and unsurprisingly used to play for Swansea, where all 3 of his own goals came. Over to Sunday now, and Arsène Wenger celebrated his 68th birthday with a huge win over Everton, beating the Toffees 5-2 despite going behind early on to Wayne Rooney's strike. So it was a happy birthday for Wenger, who's made a habit of picking up 3 Premier League points on the 22nd of October, also winning on his birthday in 2005 and 2006, with his 3 birthday wins more than any other Premier League manager has managed. So happy birthday to Arsène, and as always, Wenger out. Sticking with North London, and Tottenham battered Liverpool at Wembley, winning 4-1 as their temporary stadium continues to feel more like home. While Harry Kane took the headlines once again, it was Son Heung-min who picked up his own piece of history, with his goal making it 19 times he's scored in the Premier League, meaning he needs just 1 more goal to become the highest scoring Asian player in Premier League history, as he now sits joint top of the pile alongside former Manchester United midfielder and fellow countryman Ji-sung Park. Is Son Heung-min the greatest Asian player the Premier League has ever seen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So that's it from the Premier League, but it's time to quickly head out to the continent and see what happened in Europe's other elite divisions this weekend. Firstly, we've got the surprise package of La Liga this season. While the top 4 has a familiar theme other than the resurgent Valencia, It's 5th place that sees the real surprise in Spain, with Leganés beating Athletic Bilbao 1-0 to continue their strong start of the season. But what has been the foundation for their success? A tight defence. Leganés haven't conceded in the league in 487 La Liga minutes, keeping clean sheets in their past 5 games, with Eibar's Alejandro Galvez the last player to score past Leganés back on the 15th of September. Over Italy, where we can find the hottest striker in Europe right now, Ciro Immobile, who continues to bang them in for Lazio, scoring twice in their win over Cagliari. The brace means Immobile has scored 17 goals in all competitions this season, more than anyone in the top 5 European divisions, with Lionel Messi in second with 15 goals. Who knows how long Immobile can continue his form, but it's great news for Italy as they look to guarantee their place at the World Cup in the upcoming playoffs. And finally we go to France, where PSG rescued a point against Marseille, despite the most expensive player in the world, Neymar, seeing red late on. While the spotlight is always on the Brazilian in Paris, Edinson Cavani refuses to play second fiddle, scoring a sensational free kick in the 93rd minute to make it 2-2 and ensure PSG continue their unbeaten start of the season. Cavani has been in red hot form for PSG, and in his last 62 games in all competitions for the club, the Uruguayan has scored 62 times. So those are some of the most interesting facts, stats and figures from the weekend's action. Let us know of any more in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.